Hello and welcome everyone to Literature Unlocked. Today we begin our journey into the earliest surviving epic of English literature, Beowulf. This poem takes us back to a time before Shakespeare and Chaucer, to the Anglo-Saxon age where stories were sung, not written. Beowulf isn't just a tale of monsters and dragons, it's about bravery, legacy, and the human struggle against fate. By the end of this session, you will understand its plot, themes, language, and importance of English history. So, moving forward. Before that, keep in mind that Beowulf marks the beginning of English literature, and it's also deeply symbolic of cultural transformation from pagan heroism to Christian mortality. So let's move forward to the second slide, the Anglo-Saxon world. To understand Beowulf, we must first understand the world it came from, the Anglo-Saxon period, roughly from 450 to 1066 CE. It was a warrior society. People valued loyalty, kingship, courage, and honor above all. The poem was originally composed in Old English and passed down by poets called scouts. They recited stories in halls to preserve cultural memory. Interestingly, the poem is set in Scandinavia, not England. This shows how interconnected the Germanic tribes were. The manuscripts we study was written around 1000 CE, one of the oldest surviving pieces of English literature. Moving forward, epic features of Beowulf. Beowulf is an epic poem, meaning it's a long narrative about heroic deeds performed by a larger than life hero. It's written in elevated language, filled with rhythm and grandeur. You will notice key epic traits here: a hero of noble birth, a grand setting, a supernatural element, and a battle between good and evil. Like Homer's Iliad, Beowulf reflects the value of its society: strength, bravery, and the pursuit of everlasting fame. Next, we will be discussing the plot of Beowulf. Part 1 is Beowulf versus Grendel. The story begins in King Hortinger's hall, Hoyrit, which is being terrorized by a monster named Grendel. Grendel is enraged by the sound of joy and community. He represents isolation, envy, and evil. Beowulf, a warrior from Gateland, hears Hortiger's trouble and sails across the sea to help. In a night battle, he fights Grendel barehanded, symbolizing pure human courage. He rips off the monster's arm and Grendel flees to death. The first battle represents Beowulf's youthful heroism, fearless, idealistic, and guided by honor. The second part of the plot is the fight with Grandel's mother and dragon. After Grandel's death, it was thought that evil is ended, but evil isn't defeated yet. Grandel's mother, filled with vengeance, attacked Harriet. She symbolizes revenge and grief. Beowulf dives into her underwater lair. This descent into the deep represents a hero's spiritual trial. He kills her using a magical sword. Later, after years, Beowulf becomes king and rules wisely for around 50 years. But then a dragon begins terrorizing his kingdom after a thief steals his treasure. Beowulf, now aged, faces the dragon in the final battle, and though he kills it, he is mortally wounded. His death marks the end of heroic age. The poem closes with his people mourning him, a timeless reflection on mortality and legacy. As said in previous video, Beowulf is a story which begins with a funeral and ends with a funeral. In the next slide, which is about themes and symbolization, we will know that Beowulf explores universal themes: heroism and mortality, No matter how strong a hero is, death is inevitable. Good and evil, the monsters are physically embodiments of moral evils. Fame and reputation. In a world without writing, one's deeds were one's immortality. Pagan heroism versus Christian mortality. The poet blends pagan valor with Christian faith, showing a culture in transition. The monsters aren't just enemies, they are symbols of inner and outer conflict. Beowulf's fight is both physical and spiritual. Next slide is about the characters of Beowulf. Beowulf, the hero, brave, loyal, and ambitious. His strength defines him, but so does his desire for fame. King Hrothgar, sorry, King Hrothgar, the wise ruler who represents generosity and leadership. Grendel, a creature cursed by God representing envy and evil. Grendel's mother is the darker side of revenge and protective love for her child. The dragon is the ultimate symbol of fate, greed, and death. These characters form an allegorical universe. Every fight stands for a moral truth. Beowulf's journey from a warrior to king mirrors human growth. Youthful courage gives way to wise responsibility. Moving forward, literary style and devices used in the work. The language of Beowulf is rich with poetic diction, alliteration instead of rhyme. Old English poetry used repeated consonant sounds. Example, Hoyrit trembled with harps and heroes. Along with that, kennings were used. It is a compound metaphor. For example, whale root for sea and battle sweat for blood. Caesura. It is a rhythmic pause in the middle of each line, which was very common in Old English poetry. These devices made the poem musical and memorable, perfect for oral performance. Fun fact, Beowulf has about 3,182 lines, and its rhythm was meant to be chanted and not silently read. Now, the legacy and importance of the epic work Beowulf. Beowulf is more than an ancient poetry. It is the foundation of English literary tradition. It survived through a single manuscript preserved by chance in 11th century. The poem inspired countless modern works, and there are many remakes of Beowulf as well. One of the remakes is done by Tolkien himself. And Tolkien was also influenced to write the work The Lord of the Rings. He is a scholar who argued that Beowulf is not just a historical text, it's a work of art. The poem focuses on courage in face of fate still resonate today. Through storytelling, Beowulf achieved immortality, a reminder that the world outlasts warriors. Now, for a quick recap and a quiz, let's see that Beowulf is an earliest English epic blending pagan and Christian mortality. There are three monsters, Grendel, Grendel's mother, and a dragon, representing the externalization of moral struggles. Beowulf's journey from a warrior to a king symbolizes life cycle from action to wisdom, from strength to sacrifice. Now it's time for you to quiz yourself. What values define Anglo-Saxon heroism? How does Beowulf reflect the tension between faith and death? Or what are the three monsters Beowulf fight in the epic poetry? Think about these questions and you can comment your answers in the comment section. Think how the poem sets the stage for everything that follows in English literature, from medieval epics to modern fantasy. Now, before I conclude my PPT, I would request everyone to give a quick recap of the previous video on Anglo-Saxon era for a better understanding of the age. If you like the video, please feel comfortable to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.